Well, Brandon is back after Possessor 2.5 years ago with another weird thing.
Those were up, and they did.
We're smart, and my...
He told me enough.
No, I.
Here's Chuck.
Hey everyone, Stanji Corleone here, and I'm here with a brand new rant, and this rant is going to be for a film I got back from seeing. A new film from David Cronenberg's son, Brandon Cronenberg. And this might have to been probably the first stinker of 2023. And that film is going to be for none other than last weekend's Infinity Pool. Let's get on with the plot first. James and M. Foster are enjoying an all-inclusive beach vacation in the fictional island of La Toca when a fatal accident exposes the resort's preserved subculture of hedonistic tourism, reckless violence, and surreal horrors. How was it made? Well, Brandon Cronenberg wrote the screenplay for Infinity Pool, planning to direct as well. The film grew out of actual experiences he had on bad vacations and science fiction story about killing clones that he was writing. By May 2019, an international co-production had been set up between Canada, Hungary, and France with initial plans to film at the end of 2019. November 2020, filming locations in Croatia and Hungary were selected, and filming was pushed back to 2021. In June 2021, it was announced that distribution would be handled by Elevation Pictures in Canada and Neon in the United States. June 2021, Alexander Skarsgård was revealed to be starring the lead role, and when filming had started, additional casting announcements included Mia Goth, Thomas Kretschmann, Amanda Brugel, Caroline Bolton, John Ralston, Jeff Ricketts, Del Lesper, and Roger Hill. Principal photography occurred for 5 weeks, beginning on September 6, 2021, at the Armaria Park Resort in Cybernet, Croatia. After 12 days of shooting, production moved to Hungary, where filming was completed. Post-production took place in Canada and was completed during the second half of 2022. And then after all that, the film was shot, marketed, obviously, some way. Infinity Pool premiered at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival on January 22nd, 2023, and was actually released in Canada on January 27th, 2023, by Elevation Pictures. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, with praise for the atmosphere and Cronenberg's direction. Now as for my reaction, well, let me say that despite some good gore, this film fucking sucked! This film sucked poop! I think this may have to be the first stinker of 2023. I don't care about the reviews. This is going to be one of those acclaimed films I did not like. I'm especially sad to say that I did decently enjoy Possessor. I thought Possessor was alright. And, for what it was bizarre, but I could tell what was going on. Look, I'm sure plenty of people will whip up well-written reviews that dive into all the meaning that underpins this movie. Personally, I thought it was boring. It was fucking boring. It could have been less invested in the story of the characters, and strangely, it was stimulously too indulgent in pulling punches on a disturbing front. Aside from an interminable psychological orgy scene that just wouldn't fucking end, the movie didn't take the violence and depravity far enough. Anyway, bursting at the seams with supposed depth doesn't do away with the need to make an entertaining product. Infinity Pool is a poorly executed film that fails to shock or impress its audience. The simplistic storyline and overused themes fall flat, leaving even the most undermining movie-goer feeling uninspired and unimpressed. The lack of a true horror element, along with the inclusion of gratuitous nudity, sex, violence, and gore, adds something new to the genre. Despite the use of colorful imagery and creative editing, the film was just a waste of 2 hours of screen time. It's this poorly executed movie that fails to shock or impress its audience. A simplistic storyline and overused themes fall flat. The characters are one-dimensional, lack depth, leaving little to the imagination, and the film is even aimed at a niche audience of fringe indie cinema goers and fans of David Cronenberg, but for the majority of moviegoers, it's a claptrap that should be avoided. And honestly, David Cronenberg, he's alright. I mean, there's some films I really loved from him. I loved The Fly 1986. I loved The History of Violence. Okay, those are the David Cronenberg films I loved. Because those films had a character, had a protagonist, a story. They didn't rely on gore every single minute. They had a story and characters you could actually connect with. That's why I loved those two films. But other than that, David Cronenberg's just alright. Really. Like, I don't even know what the fuck was going on in this movie. Every time we would cut to some stupid sex scene, a bunch of naked people in a dream sequence that was not needed. Yeah, flashy dream sequences. That went on for like 5 minutes. Let's talk about the visual elements of the film. The movie begins with a warning for photosensitive epileptic seizures of the film, as the film will have scenes with flashing lights, and it did. Maybe one day movies will have warnings that inform audiences they will be visually bludgeoned by the falling brutally violent and gory film, all the while also being bored by it completely. Because that was my experience here. Major problem with IP is that it's gratuitous without value. This wouldn't be a problem if the movie was comfortably a horror, but it's not. It's a bit more pretentious and strives to overcome a shallow plot by throwing a nauseating overdone drug trip montage and senseless sexuality at the viewer. Other issues include the main character's arc, or confusion thereof. The plot had fertile ground to explore what it's like to watch yourself die, but the pacing jumps to gun, the switch from horror to amusement is fast, only to be contradicted when they attempt a moral redemption when he discovers the person he's beating isn't who he thinks it is. This non-adherence to theme development seriously detracts from IP's quality, and that goes without saying the final act is so horrifically bad and needless, I even nearly wanted to walk out of this. Like, The Prestige does a better job addressing psychological horror of having a double and clone. Lots of movies do this stuff better. A lot of movies. Even. So many other films get this art house horror done. A24 gets this art house horror done. And yes, guys, I like A24. This just feels like they're trying to be A24 and failing at it. And the characters are stupid and annoying. Well, I'll get to in a bit. And the film has the potential to be something new and creative in the horror genre, but writer-director Brandon Cronenberg sells for more of the same of his usual style with little in the way of an understanding of why his events are occurring, or even caring that they are happening. Like, you go from any Rival and Possessor, which were decently fine films. He does here, the difference with those and this he does little to help build tension and does nothing to make us care for any of the characters he's written. They're terrible people. Not one of them are even war for redemption. Now, let me guess. Is there good qualities? Yeah, fine. The acting is well done. Mia Goth is sure a bet when playing a sinister, crazy person. Alexander Skarsgård, unfortunately, isn't getting enough material here to truly shine in his role, and he just looks bored out of his mind. He just looks like a bored protagonist. He's practically this one-dimensional shell of a character, as one of the main reasons this film did not even work. Felt nothing for his character, and the character just makes some of the worst decisions I've seen on film, some of the most dumb I've ever seen on film. Holy crap. Like, stop making dumb protagonists in horror movies. Guys, stop. Ugh. Like, seriously. Even tries to leave on a tour bus once. Mia Goth and these other crazy tourists chase him down. What do you think is gonna happen? They catch his ass. But of course, he distracts by making her drop the wine ball, wrestles for the gun, but he hides off in the woods. Mia Goth pretty much shoots him in the leg. That's what happens. And of course, while watching all of his clones get murdered, he always keeps choosing to fucking stay, even after getting let out after the whole cloning process. And it's best not. And barely any of the film makes sense if I'm being honest. Best not ask why to any of the questions out because more than likely they will not be answered. And seriously, this movie will bring up a point and then completely ditch it in the next minute. It was just a frustrating watching experience. Oh, and the other clones that have fallen to Alexander Skarsgård's character's place, they wear these shitty, old wrinkled masks, raid this guy's home, end up in jail again. Then they watch those clones get murdered. Yeah, it makes zero sense. I mean, and you keep seeing all these whole tour group members naked in high dream sequences on drugs, where Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth's character are having sex multiple times for like 5 minutes in a flashy orgy sequence. Hell, the movie even starts with literally Mia Goth's character pleasuring Alexander Skarsgård's character when they first meet on an island. Yeah. Not the normal pleasuring, the sexual pleasuring. That's part of our introduction to this movie. And this couldn't get any better. Oh, hey. We come to the ending. What the fuck was the ending supposed to be? He just decides to stay, and that's the end of the fucking film. Why? Everybody's gone. There's nothing left to do. The hotel's closed. Why would he not go home himself? The resort's closed for the season. Nothing's even there. Nothing's there. So I guess he's just gonna live like a bum on the street, like, might as well go live like a bum on the street while you're at it. In the rain. Because I don't give a shit. And he doesn't even try to get even with the people that just destroy his entire life for their damn amusement. What was the purpose of any of this story? Didn't really have one, from what I could tell. There's no story. Hard to know where to begin to shoot holes in this story. Yes, there's usually parts to it, but it feels like we're just sitting around stoned and just coming up with new parts wherever they were inspired. The parts do not fit together. How is this movie unique? Unsettling or original? And why is this labeled as a horror movie? It's not scary, it's not suspenseful, it's not gory, it's not unnerving, it's boring. Boring as fuck. It's one of the most excruciating theater experiences I've had to suffer through in a while. Like, I even saw people checking their phones numerous times to see how much was left in this slug boring movie of a film. Nothing happens in the entire movie, and every character's unlikable, and nothing less or even contributes nothing to the plot. It's like, how the hell would anyone even call this a unique or disturbing film? How the fuck is any of this disturbing? This movie is just a ripoff of Hostel, but if directed by Gaspar Noé instead of Eli Roth. It's just insulting to Hostel compared to this pile to it. Even I'd rather watch Hostel over this. This movie is basically if Gaspar Noé directed Hostel instead of Eli Roth. And that would not be a good thing either. Only things I liked, the acting, and the concept of James slowly becomes into what he's capable of till the end of the film, Mia Goth does not disappoint, and delivers good acting as well. Like, Goth and Skarsgård are both fine with regards to great performances in major roles. X for Goth and Northman for Skarsgård, both last year. They both elevate the movie, and Mia Goth does give another memorable performance. But despite that, Infinity Pool sucked ass for me. It's was this movie shocking? No. Was it fucking scary? No. Did it make sense? No. Was it gory? No. Did it have good characters? No. Was it a perfect waste of money? No. Was this movie fucking boring? Yes. Did it make no sense? Yes. Did the characters shitty and unlikable? Yes. Was there barely any gore in this movie? Yes. And did the ending suck ass? Yes. It's not even enjoyable. I don't even think Brand's anywhere close to David Cronenberg at all, or likely ever will be. I got nothing else to say about this because I'm just fucking done! Just avoid this movie like the plague. That's all I have to say. Infinity Pool should be called Infinity Poo. Infinity Poo's a better damn name for this movie. I don't get how this has a fresh score of Rotten Tomatoes. I don't. Anyway, that's it for my review of Infinity Poo. Wondering how I'm going to rank Infinity Poo. Here's how I'm going to rank this damn movie. So overall, if you love Cronenberg, then I hate to say this, but this movie will likely be just not for you at all, despite some good performances I found in this movie. And if you're wondering how I'm going to rank Infinity Pool, I'm going to give Infinity Pool a 4.5 out of 10. There you go. That's it for this rant. Now anyway, guys, I gotta end this rant here because I gotta get ready for bed. So I'll have this posted in the morning so you can all watch and enjoy. But until then, guys, that's going to be it for this rant. Thank you all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe to Don G. Corleone, and good night. And good night, everybody.